let's take a look at some charts on Basic Attention Token from the latest article in Brave New Coin. So BAT is a token used on the Brave browser, which allows for users to directly pay content creators, essentially, on various platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, websites, GitHub, Reddit. Unlike many coins that hope to actually have a network of people using the token, BAT has proven that there's clearly a market demand for what they're offering based on content creators signing up and users using the utility token. So it's one of these few tokens like BNB which actually serves the use case that people are using it for, other than speculation. Kind of amazing. If you look at where the publishers are, the content creators that are signed up for this, most of them are on YouTube and Twitter and Reddit. Twitch is growing as well. I mean, all these are just up and to the right. If you look at all of the graphs, just up and to the right. That's what you want to see if you're trying to establish a network effect. Yes, they're being subsidized by BAT, by Brave. Creators are, to sign up, to bring people into the Brave browser, all that sort of stuff. That's fine and probably necessary to increase the onboarding process. It'll be interesting to see over time, once that subsidy ends in 2060, I don't know how many coins they're going to end up giving away, but how that affects the network here. Ideally by that time, people are using Brave and BAT and it's seamless, and it's just not even a second thought. Of course you're using the Brave browser and BAT to send your favorite creators money. And one of the things that always mystifies me is people giving money to people on Twitch. I never would have thought that was a thing, but BAT is now a part of that story as well. If we look at the token on-chain metrics, this is transactions per day, average transaction values in the fill here. So you can see there's spikes during distribution periods for the BAT token from Brave to the creators, and these spikes keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's clearly more and more publishers that are being rewarded for what they're doing on the network. There was a big spike in average transaction value here. I don't know. I'm assuming that Brave moved a bunch of BAT from one wallet to another. I don't know all the details, but that's what this looks like. Anytime there's a big spike and it goes back to the previous range, that's usually just the pre-mine custody changing hands or something going on here. It just it's not normal, obviously, to have that spike that high. But overall, it's bullish. I mean, transactions are up, even though most of this is reward distribution related. There's clearly an uptrend here. Looking at NVT and active addresses at an all-time high. Bullish in a vacuum, definitely, for anything, regardless of if this is because of publishers versus users sending, receiving, that sort of thing. That's a different conversation. All this is showing is, yes, more people are using BAT today than they were yesterday, or whenever. They've never used BAT more than they are now. NVT looks super bullish in a vacuum, but because of this on-chain average value spike, it's going to be messed up for a little while. It's falsely dropping, not necessarily based on economic activity. This is probably just pre-mine custody, changing hands, something like that. I don't actually know, but I'm assuming that's what it is. So yeah, this looks bullish, but in reality, it's being pushed down because Brave probably moved some tokens around. Clearly it's on a downward trend, and that's what you want to see, so that's bullish, but this isn't as bullish as it looks, is what I'm trying to say. Looking at some technicals here, we have the 50, the 200, VPVR, yearly pivots, volume, and RSI. So the first thing that always sticks out to me for BAT is the range historically for price. There's two kind of poles. There's the 20-cent pole and the 26-cent pole. So if it can break above or below any of those, that's a clear sign of momentum. Bullish if it's above 26, bearish if it's above 19. So it's hovering around 26 cents right now. It's at the yearly pivot. 5200 is bullish. Was bullish after the cross a few weeks ago. And BAT is actually up like 140% since the bottom. This V-shaped recovery. It's weird, to say the least. Most of the coins look like this, but to see BAT following this aggressive trajectory is weird. We're getting higher highs in price and lower highs in RSI, so that's just a bear div on paper. Just says there's weakening bullish momentum here. I'd probably want it to consolidate at 26 a little bit more before attempting 40 cents, because that's where it's headed if it breaks out of this range. Previous high, yearly pivot, that sort of thing. But overall, it's hard to want to enter something that's up 140% since March 12th, you know? Looking at the cloud, everything looks extremely bullish. You had your entry back in late May, it looks like. There are a couple of Kuma breakouts here with the cloud, and this is just textbook cloud stuff. I mean, it's slow enough on the daily that this trend caught the cloud signals correctly, in that, you know, it gets you in 50% of the move from the bottom, but the cloud can't predict that. It can predict this is a definite trend shift once it breaks the 50% retrace, which is what this was here. And everything's still bullish. Cloud looks great. TK cross is close together, doesn't look spread apart. You know, there's no risk of reversal here based on TK cross, so everything looks really good based on trend. It's just been a really slow grind, kind of straight up 140% since March. Then lastly on BAT BTC, again, I'm looking at this VPVR immediately. It pops out to me. Lots of volume in this current consolidation range. It's like a 400-day consolidation, something like that. Similar to 2018 to 2019, how it just had this massive kind of triangle consolidation that it broke above. Similar kind of thing here. I'd be looking for anything above 3K sats, really. This kind of looks like an Adam and Eve. Adam, Eve, something, I don't know. We get these weird patterns a lot lately where it's like a head and shoulders that's weirdly looking. You know, there's like a low, a higher low, and then another low. It just doesn't fit any pattern, but there's clearly something going on here. Trend likes it. It's above the cloud. It's above the 200. So anything above 3K sats should be go time. Again, I like the yearly pivot at 45. There's no real VPVR like specific node here, but I like 4,500 sats. Bit of a bear div, a little tiny one with that recent high. Didn't quite make it to a higher high, so technically not a bear div, but it's clearly weakening bullish momentum here. But all in all, long term, it looks great. If it can hold above the cloud, hold above the 200, and hold above this 2,500 sat VPVR high volume level, it should be good just for a slow grind towards 4,500 sats.